Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to GeekWatch, a subsidiary of the Monastery, the open bar of the internet. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me I have two of my good brothers today. First off, in a surprise appearance of him being early and straight, the man who is a living stack of comic books and the supposed metaverse alchemist, good brother Doku, and the man of 1,000 runes, the CEO of Zadare Enterprises, and the bane of my fucking existence, good brother Xanatrix. It is May 22nd, just a few days after May 20th. Never forget the Battle of Tukid.
Never forget.
I'll drink in memory.
You drink regardless.
You're damn right.
So, the one thing that we haven't done in quite a while is fucking around with life paths. And of course, there's no shortage of that. But since the last couple times that we did this, including because I think we haven't done a life path generation episode in about, I don't know, a year.
Almost a year, I'm pretty sure.
I figured this was as good a time as any to give it another go. And since the last time that we did it, we utilized Cyberpunk 2020. I had flipped a coin because I figured we may as well go full circle with it about whether we do Cyberpunk Red or do The Witcher. The coin came up heads, and no, Zan, this is not an instance where it was a double-headed coin.
You know, ever since you've told me about that story, I'm going to suspect you of using a double-headed coin almost all the time.
The seeds of doubt have been planted.
You've removed a source of trust, Monk. This is only to my benefit.
Yeah, Doku wasn't here for that, so you might want to give him the skinny.
Oh, he had a choice between The Northman and Doctor Strange 2 with a friend to go see it with a friend of his, and he flipped a coin and it came up heads for The Northman. And only after they finished watching it did he tell his friend that the coin was a double-headed coin.
Oh, the seeds of doubt indeed.
See, this is why it is. I feel justified in baiting him sometimes because of this degenerate behavior.
I regret nothing.
Of course you don't. You can't shame the shameless, after all.
Besides, it's not like this is the first time that I've made friends or family rampantly paranoid.
I thought that's just called Tuesday.
I mean, for me, someone who one of my maxims is a paranoid is someone who's just in possession of all the facts. You can't really change the fact that I'm paranoid.
Yeah. Because keep in mind, my work is still paranoid about the whole thing with after the whole thing with the coffee.
Well, of course they'd be. There's a reason you're off limits now. But rails, Monk.
Mm-hmm. So, because of where the coin landed, I decided to go with The Witcher, which is interesting because, for one, despite what some people would think, The Witcher The Witcher RPG is very clearly leaning more towards the continuity of the games than it is for the books.
Which I think is to its benefit, actually.
Yeah, because first off, the writer of the books I find to be a bit of an asshole.
Only a bit.
Sapkowski was someone who thought that video games had no future, so he didn't even ask for royalties, and then later tried to sue CD Projekt Red for royalties because he was like, "Well, you owe me more money," and they're like, "You signed the contract."
And I believe CD Projekt Red had approached him on more than one occasions about whether or not he wanted to renegotiate.
Yes. CD
I
Projekt
believe
Red
they approached him 3 times, and he turned them down each time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like just like when Kongming went and visited 3 times, and the third time he made it through the door. Except this time he wasn't facing Sapkowski. So
Mm-hmm.
I like how you used a Cogming reference there.
Yeah.
I've been watching too much Paripi Kome. You can fucking blame that anime.
I did find it somewhat amusing that the writer for Metro had claimed that the sole reason he was getting pushed around by his wife. I don't know if that was the case, but it wouldn't be the first time we had that kind of thing.
Yep,
But
but
it wouldn't be the first, and it won't be the last.
But I think but the reason why I think it's to its benefit that it leans towards the game continuity is, well, for one, all of the games take place after the books, and I haven't heard any word about any follow-up book. And two, Sapkowski is a writer whose best work is in a more short story style format.
which is why the initial anthology book is usually considered the most entertaining one by many fans.
Yeah, but when he tried to write a longer epic, it's not within his wheelhouse.
I don't know. Maybe if they offered him some royalties, maybe he'd get better.
I don't know about that, given all the money that gets thrown at George Martin, and he still can't finish anything.
Oh
no, he finished one thing. He finished the backstory that he then gave to Miyazaki for Elden Ring.
That's actually a fair point that I can't disagree with.
Probably because it was going to be less intensive.
Well, also because Martin wasn't the one writing the main story. He's like, I just have to write up some backstory? That shit's easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I know this is rails, but I just want to point it out. Apparently George R. R. Martin is now blaming social media for the reason that he hasn't finished Winds of Winter, which my response is, didn't you say you were going to lock yourself in a cabin a couple of years ago if you hadn't finished it?
And lock himself in jail if he didn't get it out at a certain time?
Yeah, it's like, George, just say you lost interest in it and you just don't really care. Like, come on, man. Like, we're not buying it anymore at this point in time, dude. Like, just own it.
I know the real reason he stopped writing The Winds of Winter. I'm just going to point at TV show season 8 and go, that's the real reason.
Honestly, I still believe that it's already done and he just doesn't want to release it for that reason because he knows it's not going to get a good reception if he follows whatever. If Dan and Dave were even remotely close to how the story ends, he knows it's not going to make fans happy. So
he'd rewrite it. He'd be like, shit, this is going to fall like a lead balloon. Better rewrite some stuff. And he doesn't want to rewrite it, so that's why.
Unless he's hoping for Sanderson to bail him out.
To be fair, that's actually really not a bad idea though, because Sanderson is very good at taking already established properties and flushing them out. Like, the guy's got a talent for it.
And he's, the one who primarily assisted with finishing The Wheel of Time. And actually closing all of Robert Jordan's fucking plot holes and constant character threads that he never goddamn finished, turning his fucking book series from a single or couple lines into a gigantic branching tree diagram!
Like I said, he's got a talent for it, and he knows...
No, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all.
Yeah. But
to Sanderson's credit, he knows how to take something and tie it all together. I'm not going to say it makes sense, but he knows how to do it.
Mm-hmm. But with that said, that brings us to this week's particular adventure. Toss a coin to your life path. I'm not singing the song, and none of you are either.
You can't stop me.
That sounds like a challenge, actually.
Even if it doesn't come out on the actual stream, I can still sing it.
Well, regardless, we are going to be handling we're going to be handling a bit of life path generation, and what's going to make this a bit interesting is the fact that we do have a profession system to contend with. Some versions of the life path system prefer using going with race and profession first. We'll be randomizing. We'll be randomizing that.
I just love the fact that this is yet another game by the magnificent man Pondsmith.
Well, technically, this was done by Pondsmith's son.
Did I say that there was a delineation between either of them? I mean, it even says Pondsmith and Pondsmith.
Mm-hmm.
So it's him and his son.
Oh, Cody was the one who really pushed for it. Mike was kind of hesitant on it because the last fantasy book that he had done was Castle Falkenstein,
Mm-hmm.
which was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So but then his son burst in and convinced him. So the rest is history. But that's the route that we'll be going tonight. So with all that said, so you guys have a D10 on hand, because I'm not going to be able to do both at once.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Zan, could you roll for me?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Mm.
First off, we're going to be dealing with the order, which is really going to be a case of who's starting. So actually, nope, I take it back. Doku, you're the one who's starting.
Oh,
all right.
So the first thing that we go for, and incidentally, I like the 3 color coding that the Witcher book has. In fact, this is the first. In fact, it's a bit of a surprise after dealing with so many of his books with limited amounts of color.
Mm-hmm.
Understandably so, especially with, say, Mekton Zeta. But first we start with Homeland, and we can either roll this as a human or we can go non-human.
Up to you, Doku.
So, for the record, I have never played the Witcher RPG, so if this becomes a gigantic shit show, I have no responsibility. And I'm saying that right now. If Zan's going to be rolling, so you said human or non-human?
Mm-hmm.
Odds or evens? What should human be?
Well, if we go with human, then it's a case of what kingdom, when it comes to humans, are we dealing with?
Well, more specifically, I'm thinking if I'm going to choose human or non-human. So, let's just say non-human is odds, human is even.
All right, I'll roll now. 7.
Well, non-human it is.
All right, I want you to do odds and evens again for either elf or dwarf.
Let's say elf is even, dwarf is odd.
Okay, let's roll it. I'm rolling the golden green just for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
It's gonna get
8.
dwarf, isn't it?
No.
Oh, elf! Elf
You're
it is!
You're a stinky knife eater.
Well, there we go. Elf.
Yep, you are an elf from the Elderlands, specifically from Dol Belthana. that means we roll for family. So
What
once
do I?
again, roll for odds or evens.
Okay. Even. It's a 6.
Your parents are alive.
Well, at least I'm not going down the edgy young adult novel path. So there's something
So
there.
No, now you might be going down the edgy adult novel path.
then we go to family status. All right, roll. All right, roll d10.
3.
3. Merchants. You grew up among traveling merchants. Life was difficult sometimes, but non-human crafts are always valuable.
I'm actually really not opposed to that.
How is this any different than what Doku does as his day job?
He's not a knife
That's a
here
good
in his day
question.
job.
No, but I bet he's surrounded by enough people who lie that much to be knife ears.
I will neither conform nor deny.
All right,
Doku,
next
is where you're at.
Next is most influential friend, and once again, I need a D10 for this.
9.
A hunter. Your greatest influence was a hunter who taught you how to survive in the wilderness.
Again, how is this any different than Doku's childhood?
I'm kind of starting to wonder if there's not some sort of weird supernatural entity that is overseeing this dice rolling. Because
Right?
you know what, maybe I'm just talking too much. I'll just be quiet.
Now we're at siblings. Let's see how many you have. So roll again.
4.
You are an only child.
Huh. Okay, that's actually accurate. Not joking. I am an only child, but I don't know how I feel about this all of a sudden.
Okay, Monk, what's next?
Next is life events.
Oh, God.
So you have a life event for every 10 years you've been alive. For the sake of brevity on this, the approach that I'm thinking instead is we will roll a d10, cut it in half, and that's how many life events we do.
I'm okay with that. Otherwise, we will be here for a very long time.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because life events can be the lengthiest part of interlock style life paths.
We've had that happen on previous life path generations where somebody's hit a 9 or a 10 and we've had to generate all 10 events.
Oh. Oh.
6. So divide by 2, you got 3.
Okay. So first event. Roll for D10 to see what type of event we have.
5.
All right, allies and enemies. Enemies are inevitable. You're going to make them, especially in a world like this. They can really shape your character, especially if you weren't the offended party. Allies, on the other hand, are absolutely indispensable. A good friend can save your life or make things easier on you in tough times. Okay, roll for odds or evens to see if it's a ally or an enemy.
Even.
All right, ally. All right, now we have three columns for the opening part of allies. So first we roll for gender.
Okay. Even again.
No, the next 3 rolls are going to be straight D10s.
Oh, okay. Well then, 2.
Okay, female.
All right. And
then roll again for position.
Yes. 10.
A bard. And next roll for how you met.
I'm going to roll that again. Stop landing on 10, you dumb die. 1. There we go.
You saved them from something.
I thought this was The Witcher, not JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
All right. Then we roll for how close the two of you are.
Oh God. 7.
Close friends.
Take it back. It's an isekai. It's not JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I mean, she's just your female Yasuke. I'm not wrong.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yep. Then roll for where they are.
2.
The Northern Kingdoms.
Now it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as an isekai.
I don't know. I don't think the Northern Kingdoms are anything like Egypt.
It depends on who you ask.
Okay, now for that covers our first life event. Now for our second.
Mm-hmm. 8.
Romance.
Good lord.
Doku,
Your bard
this is
friend
your
has
fault.
made many love songs.
Or should I say, good grief.
Romance isn't exactly uncommon in the world of The Witcher, but happy romance is. One-night stands and love affairs that end in death and depression are far more common. Let's see, roll 1d. Roll.
Do I at least get to call my mom a bitch?
Okay, roll d10.
Okay. 9.
Whores
and debauchery.
Of course.
That definitely sounds like Doku.
Again, I will neither confirm or deny.
Whores and debauchery means you spent your time sleeping around, buying whores, and perhaps leaving a trail of bastard children in your wake if you weren't careful.
Well, sometimes people can't pay.
So that's the second life event. Now for the third one. So roll for type.
1.
Fortune or misfortune?
Oh no.
Alright. Sometimes your life sits on a nice edge. A little too much pressure in one direction or the other can send you plummeting into misfortune or tumbling into unforeseen blessings. It's a gamble, but if you get lucky, you can find yourself with unexpected income, new friends, favors, and even status. Just make sure to avoid addiction and insanity.
Good luck there.
Addiction booze.
So, hang on a moment.
Oh no, my bastard son is going to kill me and then run off with my childhood friend.
I didn't know your name was Charles V. Britannia. I mean, wouldn't you call C2 Charles's childhood friend, technically? She's been around that long!
You're not... I can't really disagree with you as much as I want to.
So you want me to roll a d10, Monk?
Yes.
6.
Okay. 6. Then set. Well, first off, we need to do evens and our odds for fortune or misfortune. Since that's an even, it goes on the fortune table. So roll for the type of fortune.
Okay. 9. 69. Nice.
Blessed by a priest. You are given a holy symbol that you can show to people of that faith to gain a +2 to charisma with them.
I'm really curious about this character's background now. This does sound like a life of debauchery.
Right. Now, that covers life events. Now for personal style.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't see this going south at all.
No, not at all. Also, the fact that you were blessed by a priest, but they know that you're whoring and in debauchery must mean it's a priest that's a god of lust.
Like I said, it could get worse, but you know.
All right. So I rolled a d10.
Yep. So we're starting with it'll be style then values.
Oh God. Okay. Well, 7 for style.
All right. First part of style is clothing. We'll use that 7. Revealing clothing.
Of course. Of course.
The only merchant to go around completely topless.
Oh no! What am I selling?
Alternatively, the only merchant to go around in nothing but a very, very suggestive codpiece.
Oh.
It's gilded gold, I promise.
Okay, next is personality. Roll d10.
4.
Idealistic.
Of course.
All right, next
The question is, what are his ideals?
Doesn't say.
He saved a woman who sings good, and he's close friends with her, which is codes for friends that are fucking.
And my best friend is a hunter.
His best friend is a hunter. His romance is going around with whores and debauchery, and he's probably blessed by some priest of lust. His ideal is pretty fucking evident. Ideal.
I like how you use
hedonism.
the word fucking. It's quite accurate.
You're a hedon.
And of course, I'm an elf on top of all of this.
It's an elf. It's a hedonist elf monk. Just the type you love.
Fuck off.
All right, so we're rolling for what now?
So we're rolling for hairstyle.
Your hairstyle is randomized. It is a 3.
Self-cut short.
Technically makes sense.
And next is affectations.
Ew.
Rings and jewelry.
Of course.
He's wearing nothing but a jeweled, suggestive codpiece with rings and jewelry, and that's it.
Let's see. And then we roll for values. Oh, this should be interesting.
1.
Okay, valued person, a parent.
Oh, so I'm a mama's boy on top of all of this. Great.
Or a daddy's boy. It might run in the business. It might run in the family.
Well, hedonism is one hell of a drug.
Yep. All right. Then roll for value.
6.
Vengeance.
Okay, this is just getting ridiculous.
He'll get revenge on that girl that rejected him so long ago by fucking every woman between the kingdoms.
And then feelings on people.
5.
Neutral.
Expected that to be worse.
You're an elf from Dol Belthana. Your parents are alive. They're merchants. You're friends with a hunter. You are an only child. You have an ally who is a female bard you saved from something. You two are close friends. She's in the northern kingdoms. You had made an ally with that bard. Another time you spent several years fucking around, quite literally. And at some point you got blessed by a priest. You wear revealing clothing. You are idealistic with self-cut short hair, wearing a lot of rings and jewelry.
Yeah.
You're also somehow idealistic. You value your parents as well as vengeance, and are neutral on people.
Now the question is, so I guess if I was really going to seriously play this character, who did or what did I save that female bard from?
Virginity.
And why do I and why do I want vengeance against it? I guess that's kind of the one thing that really does make sense with this type of character, because everything else is just, I just like to run around and screw shit. Literally.
Now, as far as professions, the options that you have are bard, craftsman, criminal, doctor, mage, man-at-arms, merchant, and priest. I feel like the profession is probably merchant.
Probably I mean, if parents are still alive and I value my parents, then yeah, I think merchant would be the most logical choice.
All right.
All right. So next is your turn, Zan, and I want to switch things up. For you, we're gonna use the Witcher life path.
Okay, so I'm gonna be a Witcher no matter what.
Yeah, because Witcher is both a race and a profession.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm a Witcher. Means I was abandoned by my parents. We already know that. So what do we need to find out about me as a Witcher? What's the first thing to roll for?
Okay. Let me make sure I get this proper. Okay, and make sure that it zooms on the proper setup. I hate it when hitting a bookmark changes the zoom factor.
Mm-hmm.
So the first part is, when did you become a Witcher?
2.
Infancy. You were taken to become a Witcher when you were a toddler, between 1 and 2 years old. You have no memories of life before becoming a Witcher and had nothing to cling to when taking the trial of the grasses.
That must have fucking sucked. Holy shit, that must have sucked.
So next is, what school did you train in?
Oh, Jesus Christ. N.
The Bear School. You trained in the snowy heights of the Amel Mountains at Hairn Cadwick. You conditioned your body to endure all manner of punishment and move quickly and efficiently in heavy steel armor.
Hey, that really is me.
All right. And next is, how did early training go?
7.
Bad reaction to mutagens. You had allergic reactions to the mutagenic mushrooms and chemical compounds given to you in early training. When the trial of the grasses came, it was more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Next is, how did the so in for the next one, this refers to the trial of the grasses.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only role that is going to be somewhat modified. Although from infancy and the bad reaction, the modification is the two of them pretty much cancel each other out. Just something to keep in mind if we do another Witcher tonight.
Okay.
So we roll for how the outcome of the trials went.
9.
Passable mutations. The trial of the grasses went well. You passed into the ranks of Witchers with nothing more than memories of horrible pain.
Okay.
Let's see. Next is your most important event.
4.
Captured by a mage for testing. Mages lust after the secrets of Witcher mutations. At some point in your life, you were captured by a mage who experimented on you in an attempt to reverse engineer them.
Mm. And I'm very sure I killed that fucker.
Let's see.
Excuse me, sir. That's quite flattering armor you have there. Would you be interested in a bejeweled codpiece?
Let's see. Next is, where are you now?
5.
Became a hermit. You gave up on the life of a Witcher and traveled out into the wilderness. Now you live as a hermit in the wilds. Only now that monsters are returning have you started to venture out again.
Oh man, I'm the hero that comes and goes as he's needed. Fuck yeah. Otherwise, get the fuck out of my swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on, I didn't say that right. Get out of my swamp!
And then we get to the danger potential, and because the way that it works is, you choose how much risk you took on as a Witcher and roll for your decade. And for this is going to be one of the rare cases where it's going to be a percentile roll. The higher you go, the higher the roll is, the higher the risk.
Okay. I'm rolling both d10s. 74.
Non-neutral. You were just you almost hit risky.
Oh.
All right,
The
so
risky would have been fun.
and since we did three events, we'll be doing the Life as a Witcher danger potential 3 times.
Okay.
So this is for the first event.
Okay. Now, do we roll for what the event is?
Yeah.
Okay. 10.
Nothing.
No wonder it was non-neutral. That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna re-roll. It would be neutral if it were nothing, Monk. So 5.
Ally.
Okay.
Now
And all all the normal rolls for ally.
Yep.
Okay. Odd.
This isn't an odd or even.
Oh, that's right. 7 then.
Female.
Okay. What's with Witchers getting together with women? Or maybe it's just the Geralt factor. 8.
A priest or priestess.
Oh no.
Okay.
In this case, a priestess. And then how you met.
3.
They saved you from something.
That happens a lot to Witchers. They get saved by their friends as much as they save them.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at how many times Geralt's been saved by Triss
Yep.
and Yennefer and Ciri.
And how many times he's gotten into trouble thanks to Dandelion.
Yes, Yaskie gets him into a lot of trouble.
Oh. So next for how close are you?
10.
Bound by bond.
Wait, does this mean like those magical bonds that like tied Geralt to Ciri and stuff?
Doesn't say.
Oh wow. Okay, good. I get to choose. And where are they now? Yeah.
Actually, there isn't an entry for where are they now.
Huh. Weird.
Not for Witchers have a different life path setup than everybody else.
Yeah.
All right. So now
Next
for the
event.
for the second one.
First, we'll roll up the potential.
Mm-hmm.
96.